Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story TV and the Her Story podcast. This is Gertrude Matcha here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And this morning, I am graced with the presence of yet another sister from another mother. I feel like I've met a mirror of myself. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, how old you are, and share your magical story with us today.
Good morning, Gertrude, and to all the beautiful ladies that are listening to us. This is an absolutely pleasure to be here with you. My name is Manuela Garcia. I am originally from Spain, but I live in New Zealand. I've been in New Zealand for the last 12 years. I'm 46, even though I keep saying 37. I'm 46, and well, this is my story. Where do I start? Just in a nutshell. Well, yes, as I said, I am from Spain. I left. I left my country to go to London. In my early 20s, I was young and beautiful, and I was very much in love. So I moved to London with my then boyfriend, who became my husband eventually and the father of my daughter. And then years later, time went by, and I worked in. It was very exciting, but it was really, really tough to leave my own country and the comfort of living with my parents and being a student and having no many words in the world. Also, the fact of moving to a new country where I didn't speak the language, I didn't know how to get a job to begin with, was very confronting and very challenging. But time went by, and I dedicated myself, and I got my first job and my second job, and my daughter was born. And then 1 year through a job opportunity, we ended up in New Zealand. That's what I've been with my daughter for the last 12 years. So we came the three of us, and then a year later, within a few months, my dad passed away. And that somehow triggered a series of events. And one of them, unfortunately, was the end of my marriage. And it was, again, another big challenge because you are confronted with the big questions. What shall I do now? Everyone is expecting you to do the right things and to have the right answers. So my family obviously were waiting for me to come back. There were other families in the UK waiting for me to go back to the UK, and my then husband, who became my ex-husband, decided to leave the country, and I decided to stay. And it was some there were some really difficult times, very, very difficult times to be in a foreign country with a young girl, and again, wondering how do I go on with my life? Where do I find my passion again? What I'm supposed to do? So I continued working in project management, which was really good. But slowly, I open up to the possibility of doing something that I always wanted to do. And I always wanted that whatever experience we go in life, whatever pain, whatever happiness, whatever happens to us, if it's not for a reason, well, apart from a reason, if we don't do anything with it, and for me, the reason was to give something back and to support other women that possibly were going through the same struggles, the same pains, the same uncertainties that I have been going previously. So I became a life coach about 5, 6 years ago. And then a couple of years ago, I became a health coach. And I think it was last year or the year before, a transformational coach. So I work with mindset, and essentially I help women to create a new life they love, especially after divorce or separation. And it's something that I absolutely love. It's something that makes me smile. It's something that brings my sparkle, and that's what I believe, that that's where the magic happens, by being all of us together.
Wow. What an amazing story. You know, a lot of women will go through these crossroads. I call them crossroads,
Yes,
where life changes. Everything you know about life changes. And you have to
absolutely.
literally find a way to reinvent yourself.
Absolutely.
Because if you've been married for a while, and I can relate to this because I'm actually in the middle of recreating myself right now. I was married for 27 years.
Right.
And when my marriage collapsed, it was like, who am I? What do I become? What are the
Absolutely.
expectations of family, of friends? Now, if you could go back to that younger woman
Yes.
at a time where everything changed
Yes.
and give her 3 nuggets of wisdom, what
Right.
would you say to her? What would you have wanted somebody to say to you?
Ah, I would have I would have loved someone to look into my eyes and said, "You are amazing. You got this. You can do it. Follow your passion." Right? That I would have loved anything more than anything for someone to say that. And instead, you see, when we talk about reinventing ourselves, I don't think it's so much about reinventing hetero, but I think it's about remembering who we are,
Yeah.
bringing our truth out. Because as you said, we need to meet, excuse me, we need to meet everyone's expectations,
Yes.
social expectations, family expectations, our partner, husband. And what about who you truly are? Who are you? We forget about it completely. So I do remember when I was, back in my years with my then partner who became husband, I there were all these things about psychology, counseling that I was so attracted to. And somehow the conversation was, "Yeah, are you gonna bring everyone's problems at home?" Right? And so yes, it was more about let's keep on growing in the corporate world and do what everyone does rather than remembering bringing your truth out and and yes, so I do have the opportunity to do that and to help other women to do so. So it's not, like I said, it's not about rebuilding a new life. When they say I've gone through a separation or it's not about rebuilding, it's about creating that life that you always wanted.
So, what was it, do you think, about your father's passing that led to the chain of events? I can relate to it in
You're
a
gonna make me
sense
cry.
because I'm sorry, that's not my intention, but
I
let's go
know.
there. I remember when my youngest brother died, he gave me back my life. I had a lot of fears. Like, I had
Yeah.
a fear of heights. I bungee jumped off the Victoria Falls Bridge, the highest waterfall in
Did
Africa,
you?
3 times. I remember going
We'll do it
skydiving in
together one day,
Kaikoura.
Gertrude.
Yes, we will. We
We'll
will.
invite other beautiful ladies to join us as well. That would be amazing.
I went skydiving in Kaikoura and I
Oh
don't know how to
no.
swim.
Oh
And I went
wow.
deep sea diving in Bali. Now I
Wow.
overcame every
That's
single fear.
incredible. That is
So
absolutely beautiful.
tell me what
Right. Well,
happened
look,
when your
for
father
me,
died.
I was very close to my dad. Is my mom is absolutely she's a beautiful lady and she's very inspiring and she's my one of my masters if you want. But I was very close to my dad. My dad was diagnosed with cancer when he was 55, so really, really young. And when he passed away 5 years later, he would have been just 60. So it really hits you. And I think I was in so much disbelief and so much, I was in denial because when we came to New Zealand, I kept saying to myself, I said to my dad, it's only for a year, Dad. It's okay. It will be just for one year and then we'll come back. And I really wasn't expecting. My dad looked fantastic. He didn't look ill. He never lost his hair, nothing. And I remember going to the airport and have that consciousness that possibly it might be the last hug you ever give to your dad. It was really hard. So then when we came to New Zealand and my dad passed away, I thought, that's it. That's it. I will never spend not even one more day being unhappy, just looking, just, being unhappy or being in a situation where I'm not happy. I don't want to be with someone with a long face every day. I can't. And and the interesting thing was, I mean, there were so many things, so many interesting things.
Mm.
The element of judgment, perhaps, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes I wonder if I had been a solo mom anywhere in Europe, nobody would have bothered. But to have a Spanish lady in New Zealand on the other side of the world, people will ask, "What are you here for? What
Mm.
happened?
Mm.
What happened to your marriage?" And for me, it was a matter that, yes, I met him when I was 15, and we had clearly grew apart. We've had gone through, obviously, half life together, but
Mm.
my dad passing away was the last drop. And I remember going for a walk, the Auckland Bridge here in Auckland,
Yes.
the Harbour Bridge, sorry, in Auckland. And I remember saying, "God, Dad, someone please help me, because I would jump off the bridge,
Oh,
someone help me." I was lonely. I had so much fear. I didn't know what to do. And I have to say that, New Zealand is a very spiritual country, very,
it
very
is.
spiritual. And
Mm.
somehow, even though I've been here for 12 years, and somehow you always from overseas,
Yeah,
but
you're always a foreigner, doesn't matter.
you're always a
Now,
foreigner,
now
right?
imagine with my coloring, every day I'm
Oh,
asked, where are you from?
I'm the same. I'm the same. No matter how much, how much effort I put in my accent, they always say, "Where are you from?" And but
Yeah.
I have to admit that this country has been so welcoming and so supportive, even on those moments where I walked along the beach, with tears running down my face and saying,
Mm.
"God, I never thought paradise was going to be such a lonely place,
Oh,
because it's pure paradise." Even in those moments, oh, look, I'm getting goosebumps telling you now. I
oh,
felt almost like someone was hugging me, call it
yeah.
God, call it the universe, call it, I don't know. It's like I felt very protected. So I'm super, super grateful that somehow I've had the opportunity, like a second chance
Yes.
to go on.
Reinvent and go on in a magical
Yes,
way.
in a magical
And
way. And that's why, sorry, Hetru, I feel like this is my time now to
mm,
be of service to other women,
yeah,
because I really wish there would have been someone like you, someone like me,
yes,
to be there, just like say, "Look, let's have a cup of tea. What can I do for you?
yeah.
Talk to me," or maybe just I'll just listen to you. Talk to me. What's happening?
And sometimes that's all you need. It's just someone to listen. And
Yes.
this just kind of leads me to my next segment. The reason why we have put together the Her Story Circle is because sometimes we just need our problems to be heard. You don't need somebody to give you a solution. You have the solution already to everything
Yes.
you want in life, but you have to let those words breathe. And, there's a saying that if a tree falls in a forest and nobody sees it, did it really fall?
Wow.
It's the same with our stories. We have them running in our heads, just this program that's constantly going and going and going. So we're going to take a small commercial break. For
Thank you.
those of you who are listening, wherever you are in the world, the Her Story platform is about women with inspiring stories. You could be an entrepreneur or a woman in business, and you come and share how you created that amazing business, and you become an example to another woman who's trying to do the same. We have women who are talking about social justice, family and relationships, creativity, spirituality, whatever you want to share. We are looking for your stories. We are looking for them in multiple languages. So we're going to take a small commercial break. Please join us. We're looking for speakers. Go onto our website and register. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I am graced with the most amazing woman coming to us all the way from New Zealand, Manuela, the subject we're talking about today is reinventing your life after a long relationship that breaks down or divorce. Now, if I was to take you again back, would you
Yes.
have done anything differently? You know how sometimes after the event, you sometimes have regrets, you think, did I do the right thing? How do you feel now? Was that the right move for you and for your life
In terms of making the decision to
to
start a new
leave and,
life,
yeah, to start a new
yes.
life?
Oh, look, throughout my life, there have been a series of events, and it comes to a point that my brain, there was no, it was like there was like a switch in my brain that went to the other side, and maybe I found my strength, that strength, because this would have been the worst case scenario, being on the other
Mm,
side of the world with no family or no supporting networks to make a decision like that. And I do believe that my dad passing away gave me that strength
yeah,
to say, look, life is so short. And I started wondering if anyone was telling us with a degree of certainty that, Manuela, Gertrude, any of those beautiful ladies listening to us today, you have 3 months
to
or
live.
3 years
Mm,
or 12 months. We will stop reflecting that for a second and we will say, wow, 12 months doesn't seem to be much time, right? Or even
yes,
3 years. And then we will start considering, okay, where is all that things, all the stuff that wastes my time? Or
yes,
where do I invest my time, with people that maybe I should let them go of my life, you know? And that's the difference. My dad passing away really opened my eyes like nothing had in the past. And I thought, I'm sorry, I don't have time. And this
mm,
is something that has made me really conscious. Like I don't have the time. Sometimes to the point that like touch wood, I feel very healthy and young and capable. But the consciousness of time is something that I wasn't that almost didn't exist before.
mm,
So if I give you my time, it's the biggest commodity that I have because once my time is gone, it's gone.
yeah, yeah,
So I always
yeah,
say
and like now with what is happening in the world, especially with COVID,
yes,
time is precious.
yes,
We are literally a breath away from affecting and infecting each other. You could be in a supermarket and you bump into somebody who has COVID and your life is cut short. So,
yes,
what you actually do with it and being very aware of how limited it is,
yes,
I think is really the key. So, I'm going to ask you a question.
yes,
If there is somebody right now who has just gone through a divorce and they're now on the other side and thinking, what's my next step? Or what have I done? Or was this the right thing? You know how you go into that space of doubting yourself.
yes.
What kind of advice would you give that woman?
One of the top tips, one of the biggest advice I can give anyone is to allow yourself to grieve, and not just at the end of any relationship, but when you face any change in your life. It could be a change of job, it could be anything. To give yourself to time to reflect and to grieve, to celebrate the times that you spend together, to celebrate the experiences, the love, and and to allow yourself to heal. Something else that I will say is, um, find someone you trust that you can talk to, obviously, whether it's a therapist, it's a coach like me, it's a good friend, someone that will not bring any judgment, because that's the last thing that you need. And lastly, to all of you, to please, please, please allow yourself, take some time to remember who you were, because we get lost in relationships. And something most importantly, hatred is something that I've come to a realization working with so many women throughout the last few years, is that the biggest breakup that we go through is the breakup that we have with ourselves. Funny enough. So you don't actually have to be in a relationship and go through a breakup to suffer that breakup. If I if I if I make sense. So what I mean is sometimes we break up with we can be in a really happy relationship, but we break up with ourselves. So we stop taking care of ourselves. We allow everything and anything to come before us. We we literally we put ourselves right at the end of everything and everyone else's priorities. And this is how little by little we completely forget about who we are, and we stop loving ourselves. And like I said, if you don't love yourself, then how can you love someone else? How can you love your kids, your husband, your friends? So that's a it's like my piece of wisdom for all of you. To suffer a breakup, you don't actually have to go through a divorce or separation. You can suffer a breakup with yourself, even if you are in a good relationship. Now, if you don't do anything about it, if you don't become aware and say, you know what, I'm going to put aside maybe half an hour 3 times a week to go and do some yoga or meditation or catch up with my girlfriends, even if it's online, um, yes, it might be able to have a knock-on effect on your relationship, on your work relation, and so on.
Wow, that's pretty profound. Yeah, you do lose yourself in relationships and in marriage sometimes,
We
to a
do.
point where you forget the essence of who you used to be.
Yes,
And that journey
absolutely.
back can be exquisite. It can be exciting. It's frightening. But they say that everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Yes,
So sometimes you have to feel that fear and do it anyway.
absolutely.
So now let me take you into the future. If time was an illusion and your
Yes.
past, your present, your future could exist in the same timeline and we could whiz between the different timelines, and I will
Yes.
take you to the 100-year-old you. You are sitting on your porch, you've got your grandchildren, your great grandchildren running around the yard, your dogs, your cats, whatever it's going to be. And you could have a conversation with the older you.
Right.
What would you say to this amazing woman who has brought you this far?
Oh, it brings, look, just thinking about it, it makes my soul smile, Petra, because I feel like the conversation would be more like, look, you've done it your way, you did it your way. And and yes, sometimes the challenges we have, the challenges we encounter is to believe that we can, and to understand where those beliefs come from, right? Like I remember after my separation, one of the things that I wanted to do that was at the top of my list, believe it or not, it was to learn how to scuba dive. I always wanted to do it. And my mom, bless her, she would say, "Oh, now, but you just turned 40. Are you 8? How can you do that?" And I wanted to do it, and I did it, and I became a dive master, and I dived in the Philippines, in Spain, in Australia. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So I think that's the conversation that I will have with my own self, saying, yes, that was an incredibly beautiful and amazing life. You were able to be your truth and to share who you are and to touch other women's lives along the way. So it would be just beautiful.
That is awesome. Manuela, how can people get hold of you? I'm sure there are a lot of women who are listening to us now who are thinking, where's this woman's website? How do I get hold of her? Give me your website address.
My website is my name followed by .co, C-O. So Manuela Garcia, one word,
Mhm.
manuelagarcia.co. That's where they can get in
Fantastic.
touch with me, on social media as well. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. But yes, I will be here, and I will welcome any of these beautiful women to absolutely to get in touch.
Fantastic. So I'm going to finish off with one last question.
Yes.
Is there anything I should have asked you that I missed out?
Anything that you should have asked me. Well, I think you could have invited me to go bungee jumping with you.
That we're definitely going to do. We're definitely
Um,
going to do that.
yes, I'm not sure, Hatred. Is there anything else that you would like? Anything else that you would like to ask me?
Well, there's been a few comments actually from people who are listening on Facebook. We have Adia in Queensland saying, "Good morning, ladies. This is lovely. How inspiring." She said, "I was only saying this morning that I wanted to learn to scuba dive." Wow. So
Oh,
that's
fantastic. Fantastic. Well, we can do it together.
so, Adia, that's the law of attraction working again for you. I know you have connected me with quite a few phenomenal women this week. So thank you for tuning in.
Beautiful.
We have
That's
Catherine
wonderful.
Opono also saying, "Hi, ladies. Thank you so much
Hello.
for being here." Yeah, life is magical. And I feel really blessed to have met you. I love your story. I think it's inspiring. It's nice to see a woman who's come on the other side so positive and sure, and just knowing that I did the right thing. This is my life. I want to take it back. I want to check out in a really good way. I was looking at a little cartoon character the other day of this little crazy old woman, shriveled up, battered by life. And it's the caption said something like, "When I check out, I'm going to say, wow, what a ride life was, you know?"
Yes,
And
yes,
that's how
absolutely.
we should live it. We should live it to the full. Thank you, Catherine. She
Absolutely.
said this is a beautiful conversation. Yeah, I must say,
I
meeting you, Manuel, feels like meeting a sister from another mother. So
Oh,
until
fantastic.
we
Yeah, we can
meet,
do like
until
more
we
like that
hug in
or the
person
other way.
this way.
I read, before I go, Hedred, I read a few days ago in this beautiful book. There is this quote, because sometimes we tend to maybe not make a judgment, but we tend to when a friend is in need or is in facing uncertainty or a difficult situation, out of nature, our nature is to try to fix the problem, right?
Yes,
We want
yes,
to help and we want to fix, and sometimes we don't need any fix. We just need someone to listen to us. So I read this quote, and which I found really beautiful. It says that lighthouses don't run around the island trying to save the boats. Just stand still and
oh,
shine. And I think that's the message. That's what we should do. Be the best version of ourselves. Be the best example for other women out there that they need, they need inspiration, perhaps.
ah.
So
I always
that's my
say,
message.
I put it this way, be the light at the end of somebody else's tunnel.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
You are right. We are lighthouses. We should be there to reflect back to other
Yes.
people. So thank you, Adia. Adia just said she was trying to get onto your website. She couldn't. There it is. I think put the HTTPS. It is working. I've just tested it. So thank you for giving us the feedback. I think she had gone online and she couldn't get in. And she said, "Oh my gosh, I love that quote." Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much.
Hey, True, thank
So
you so much from the bottom of my heart. It's been
it's
an
an
absolute honor
absolute
to
pleasure.
meet you and to be here with you and share my story. Thank you so much.
And thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Like I said, we're looking for more stories. We're trying to curate 1 million stories in multiple languages. So the beautiful Manuela is going to help me record a message in Spanish. So if you're in the Spanish world, we want you to share your message in whatever language you're comfortable in. So please go onto our website, theherstorycircle.com, register to speak. Do not go to your grave with your story. Thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. Bye for now. Thank you, Manuela.
Thank you, Hedred.